Hi again, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Litter Media Live. This will be the Thursday morning edition with Mike Smith. I'm Dan Ramey. Howdy.
Hello.
It's kind of like the old days.
Yes, it is.
We don't have Mr. Hand 2 with us today, and so he's on a special assignment. We cannot divulge any details about it. Perhaps tomorrow we'll have maybe even some footage of what he's doing today.
Okay.
Wouldn't that be something? All right. Welcome to a new program for today. We'll have news, we'll have sports, we'll have this date in history. But first, let's take a look at what the weather is doing for us today.
Another dry day for us today, although I did see this morning they're talking about a possibility of an isolated shower late in the day or evening. Better chance of rain is Friday and Saturday, but now they're even saying a chance of rain on Sunday.
Right now it's over in Indiana, which is where Mr. Hand 2 is today. So.
Is that some lightning I see in there?
It looks like it could be, down along there. This is our interactive weather map that you can find on our website, littermedia.com. You can make it do a lot of things. Here we went from what was just the forecast, and but this would be under the wind portion, but then we went to the radar, and there you can see the storms that are going through Indiana and Illinois right now, even as we speak. So hopefully that stuff's coming our way, because I noticed even the weeds are like looking parched.
Yeah, my yard is pretty much dead. It's bad.
Is it really?
Yeah, it's not good.
I've seen that around the area, but I still got a lot of green in my area where we are. Of course, that's because we don't get a lot of sunshine. So, but there's an area, and I've not mowed for more than a month now because of the health thing. And Dan Jr.'s been putting it off because it's just been too dry. Right. But we have two areas along our sidewalk that I've never planted grass in. I used to have flowers there, so I'll mow over it every couple weeks, just to get the weeds down. But I've noticed all those weeds and crabgrass that's there are curling up. It's like, we're parched. Can you give us something to drink, please? And I'm like, no, now you're starting to look like what I want you to look like.
Yeah.
So, all right, so weather complete, rain on the way. Fingers are crossed. Coming up in a moment, we'll get you caught up to date with things that are happening in regards to news in our territory. But first, we want to take a moment to tell you about our friends I'm running the commercials today, and I forgot how they're loaded here. So I think I've got it straightened down now to where I can find it. It looks like it's right here. There it is, Scioto Valley Dumpsters. 740-253-8389 is the number to call to learn more about Scioto Valley Dumpsters, how they can help you, whether it's your home or your business. You need a dumpster? Give these guys a call, 740-253-8389.
Mark came to the Adina Orthopedic and Spine Institute in severe arm pain from a degenerative disc. Minimally invasive spinal surgery got him back to what matters most. At Adina, we do what we love, so you can too.
For transportation options in Ross County, call Ross County Health District's Mobility Management Team, 740-779-9652.
Whenever I first applied for the Archways opportunity, do I have to pay this back? Do I have to do that? Is it a loan? And it's not. It's a scholarship. A goal of mine is to graduate college debt-free. If you're a crew member, you get $2,500 a year, and if you're a manager, you get $3,000. And especially if you're going locally to college, like to the branch or something like that, it's really helpful.
Take a look at our website today, littermedia.com. That's where you'll find a lot of the stories that Mike and I will share with you here today, including our sports scoreboard, where you find out how the high school teams are doing with their seasons up and running. And, of course, you can follow us here on Facebook as well as Twitter and on our YouTube channel. At the top of our news today, remembering someone from the past.
Yeah, the late Jim Riley's legacy is still building brighter futures at Pickaway Ross Career and Technology Center. A 1987 carpentry graduate, Jim's love for the school and his craft was unwavering. In memory of Jim Riley, the Paint Valley Squirrel Hunters Association, of whom he was an avid member, has donated $500, and Miles McClellan Construction, his former employer, has donated $5,000 in tools to the Pickaway Ross Career and Technology Center Commercial Carpentry Program. What a neat gesture.
And an impressive toolbox right there as well. Is that Jim?
On the far
standing there on the far
right,
right?
yeah.
Okay, yeah. I saw this yesterday, but I didn't know if that was him or not. So what a great way to pay back and to remember someone. As a part of the Ohio Department of Transportation District 9's Planning Department, the district's environmental office is seeking public input for a bridge replacement project on State Route 138 in Ross County. It's proposed replacing the existing structure on 138 between 207 and, you said Stingy Lane?
Stingy Lane.
Thank you. The project is located in the residential area of Deerfield Township.
Sarah McGraw, a graduate of Zane Trace High School, has been awarded the Ross County Conservation League's $1,000 scholarship. Kelly's the daughter of Kelly McGraw of Chillicothe.
Sarah's the daughter of Kelly.
I'm sorry. Sarah is the daughter of Kelly. Yes. It's an unusual spelling on Kelly, Kellye. Sarah will be attending the Ohio State University Newark branch and will be majoring in animal science and zoology in pre-vet degree program. The presentation of the award to Sarah was made at the July general membership meeting of the league at the Brown Hollow Lodge. And you can find a complete story, including who that lady is on the left, in our website story at littermedia.com.
And our buddy Nelson Coleman there on the right. And Sarah's a great kid. She and I got to know each other through the Zane Trace FFA, but also she was in the Feast of the Flowering Moon Queen's pageant, and she was second attendant, I believe, a couple of years ago. And now here she is. She's on her way to big things at OSU Newark, so good luck to you. Chillicothe Kiwanis Kids Day is this Saturday from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. at the Kiwanis Shelter in Yaktangi Park. There'll be plenty of fun and entertainment, and that will include a fingerprint ID opportunity from the Ross County Sheriff's Office. I wonder if the new mascot from the Sheriff's Department will be there.
He was seen a lot out at the county fair, that's for sure.
So parents wanting to get your kids fingerprinted, this is your opportunity to do that. And that, again, is coming up this Saturday.
Something we talk about each month, the Knights of Columbus 15793 Council here in Chillicothe. They have their monthly food assistance distribution. That's this Saturday at St. Peter's Church in Chillicothe from 10 until noon.
The 19th annual Corvette Gathering will be coming to downtown Lancaster. That's coming up on September 8th, 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. The Corvette has made tremendous changes in its look over the years, and I recall it being that little sport coupe that came out in the 60s and that suddenly grew into a large car. When I rode around Indianapolis Motor Speedway, it was the pace car riding with Kevin Harvick, and that thing was doing 165 miles an hour down the backstretch. But and now they look almost like a Ferrari. You know, it's really cool to see them out and about on the roadways these days.
Also, more than 300 former military members were in attendance back on August the 3rd for the Ohio Veterans Conference, brought together men and women from all sectors of the state representing multiple branches of the service and different eras. The biennial event, organized and sponsored by the Ohio Department of Veterans Services, was held at the Ohio Union on the campus of Ohio State University. Our road report right here in Chillicothe. Work for the resurfacing project on US 50 inside the city is already underway. Much of that work had been going in the overnight hours, but as we shared on our Facebook page earlier this morning, some of that work coming down Main Street, which is in the city of Chillicothe proper, even though it's technically part of US 50, you'll see some daytime paving work going on there.
I've seen some patchwork there, and driving out west, I had a meeting out west on Monday. I saw where they had all the little digital cutout areas painted on the roadway where they were going to be cutting things up. But that hump is still there. Yeah. You know, the one that's so scary when you see a truck coming at you. And the semi is like the Leaning Tower of Pisa for just a moment. And I've often wondered, man, if they've got somebody, if it's coming east and they've got a load that is shifted to the left, it's got to go over at some point, I would think. At least that's just my mind thinking that anyway. All right, coming up in a moment, let's take a look at sports. But we're going to tell you about Haynes Total Health Care Center, chiropractic, physical therapy, nutritional needs. They've been handling those needs for our community since 1974. So they're celebrating their 50th anniversary this year. If you want to find out more, click on this ad anywhere you see it on our website. That's littermedia.com. And when you get there, click on this ad and it will take you right to their website, which is HaynesHealth.com. Are you looking for a beer that satisfies your thirst and love of country? Armed Forces Brewing Company brews beer for patriots. Celebrate freedom with every sip. Armed Forces Brewing Company. Freedom never tasted so good.
Wherever you are, you're there for a reason. You shouldn't have to make a trip to the branch just to deposit a check. Skip the trip and use our mobile app to easily and securely deposit checks from your phone. Day or night, wherever you are, or whatever you're doing, download the Kingston National Bank Mobility app today.
This is Andy Tomlinson. When ensuring what's important to you, our agents are there when you need us the most. Tomlinson Insurance, for the best coverage at the best cost. Visit us online at tomlinsonins.com to learn more.
Time for the world of sports and our local world, starting with high school stuff.
Yeah, golf and tennis is pretty much the thing going on right now. The first of the soccer matches in the regular season start this Friday with what they call Football Friday night, something that the OHSAA does. But in golf, the SVC boys golf season officially got underway last night at Crown Hill. Westfall won match number 1 with a 163. That was 11 strokes better than second place Piketon at 174. Zane Trace was 175, Uniota 190, Huntington 203, Southeastern 220, Paint Valley 241. Adena has, I think, 2 or 3 golfers that play, but they don't have enough to make up a team score. Piketon's Brevin Wooldridge earned match medal honors with a 37. There was a bunch of other scores on our score page that you can find as far as golf and tennis. In girls tennis, Circleville edged Jackson 3-2. Tays Valley a winner 3-2 over Buckeye Valley, and I think there were actually 2 try matches in golf also that you can find at littermedia.com.
I kind of wish they didn't have today off. Man, the Reds are playing really well right now. They swept the Cardinals for the first time since 2017, and now they are just 1 game under 500, and they are tied in a literal tie with the Cardinals for second place. Both teams are 8.5 games behind first place Milwaukee, and they are now, I believe it's 4.5 games back in the wild card standings. So let's keep it up. Keep going there, David Bell and your crew. And here's the Guardians. They have helped out because the Cubs is who they swept, and that keeps the Cubs in last place now in the National League Central. No, I think Pittsburgh is still in last place, but it keeps the Cubs further away from the Reds. I think the Reds and Cubs are playing in this next series.
No, Kansas City comes to Cincinnati.
City? That's right, because today's Thursday.
And Cleveland goes to Milwaukee for the weekend.
Right.
Starting Friday night.
So, if the Guardians could keep this up, that could certainly help the Reds. And if the Reds can cool off Kansas City, which has been pretty hot this year, it could be an interesting stretch for us down the stretch of the season.
Jonathan India said, quote, "We are now a playoff team." Now that they're a game out of 500,
and that stands to reason right there too.
But did he have 2 home runs last night?
2 homes, and so did Friedel.
Steele it was his birthday, Friedel's birthday last night.
Yeah,
right?
and during the broadcast, they were making a big deal out of it. Going back to 1901, only 2 Reds players have hit 2 home runs on their birth date. Friedel's one, Barry Larkin's the other.
Yeah.
And Barry was part of the broadcast last night.
That's kind of neat.
Yeah, so that was pretty cool. I was switching back and forth between the Reds and the Jimmy Fallon special last night, the 10th year anniversary of the Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon. It was hilarious. There were things I'd forgotten about that were pretty funny, but there were things that I didn't know that they had done because I haven't seen every episode in 10 years. But it was worthwhile. If you've got Peacock, go back and watch it online. You'll thank me for it later. All right, coming up here in just a moment, we'll take a look at this date in history, so get ready for that. But first, we want to tell you about another commercial that I was not prepared for. Let me get to it. And here it is right here.
Yes, sir. There is no bill when there's a fill. Contact Litter Quality Propane today about our metered gas service at litterpropane.com.
Each week, Litter Media presents the Neil Coleman Insurance Wyandotte Mutual Player of the Week. If you have an athlete to nominate, any amateur athlete is eligible. Simply visit littermedia.com and click on Player of the Week. At the end of the year, we'll announce the Player of the Year. Make your nominations now at littermedia.com. Click on Player of the Week. Discover Ross County. From the breathtaking outdoor adventures to the historic sights of Chillicothe and family-friendly events and festivals. Explore more at visitchillicotheohio.com or download the free mobile app today.
Find a career you love with Pickaway Ross Adult Education. Skilled trades careers are in high demand with no signs of slowing down. Pickaway Ross offers career training programs with expert instructors and hands-on learning tactics to create a variety of opportunities. Visit our website for more information.
As a professional race car driver, I live for speed, power, and performance on and off the track. That's why I use the Dixie Chopper, the world's fastest lawnmower. Race into your local dealership today and test drive a new Dixie Chopper.
More than 4 decades in business, as they say out in Oklahoma. Your trusted comfort advisor, Accurate Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing. Not only residential service, but also if you're maybe a business, they do contract work with those folks as well. Mm-hmm. Not only in the Scioto Valley, but all over Southern Ohio, from Dayton, Cincinnati, down Portsmouth, and east of Chillicothe. Accurate Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing.
They got a big footprint.
Yes, sir.
And they've done a great job. And you can still hear a conversation with the sales department from Accurate Heating and Cooling on Litter Media Radio. Had that conversation with, for the life of me, I want to say it's Lisa. I might be wrong. I apologize in advance. But Mitch Higgins was the other guest, which I had met her, I think, for the first time when she was in for the interview. But Mitch and I, we've known each other for almost 40 years, as long as Accurate's been in business. So yes, you can check that out on Litter Media Radio. This date in history, we go back to
1969. The Woodstock Music Festival gets underway in upstate New York. A hamlet in the upstate town of Bethel, promoters Artie Cornfield, that was appropriate, and Michael Lang originally envisioned the festival as a way to raise funds to build a recording studio and rock and roll retreat near Woodstock, New York. Despite their relative inexperience, the young promoters managed to sign a roster of top acts, including Jefferson Airplane, The Who, The Grateful Dead, Sly and the Family Stone, Janis Joplin, Jimi Hendrix, Creedence Clearwater Revival, and some new group called Crosby, Stills, Nash & Young. They were anticipating, due to ticket sales, around 50,000 people. Well, what they ended up with were some party crashers. About 500,000 people showed up. Those without tickets simply walked through gaps in the fences and organizers would eventually forced to make the event free of charge. The organizers were losers financially in that they almost went bankrupt. However, the film and recording rights more than compensated for the losses after the release of a hit documentary film called Woodstock in 1970.
Who would have thought, you know? And the foresight that they had to record a lot of this stuff.
Oh, yeah. That saved them. That saved them. It's about a 3.5-hour documentary.
Yeah. One of the coolest moments of Woodstock is Jimi Hendrix playing the Star-Spangled Banner. And I cannot imagine what that would have been like hearing it for the first time. And you know how it is when you see someone sing the national anthem, it's like, man, why don't they just sing it the way it's supposed to be sung? And I'm sure in 1969, somebody was saying, man, why don't they play it the way it's supposed to be played? But Jimmy, man, he had all heart into that thing.
You know, he was in the 101st Airborne Division.
Yes.
They discharged him early, but I remember he was on Dick Cavett's show one night when Vietnam was still going, and he said, hey, if they need me, call me up, I'll be there.
Yeah.
But the backstory about Jimi Hendrix, Hendrix insisted that he be the last act. Well, because of a thunderstorm the day before, everything got backed up so badly as far as the timing, Jimi Hendrix didn't get on until like 5 or 6 a.m. on Monday morning, and more than half the crowd, actually it was probably 3/4 of the crowd, was gone. So he was playing to a lot of empty field.
What a talent, though. When I first went to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, you step in up in Cleveland, there's all kinds of paraphernalia there and memorabilia. And one of the displays at that time was a feature on Jimi Hendrix. And it had his couch from his home sitting there. And also there was just sheets of music that were like notes that he had just written on. And if I remember correctly, one was like a paper bag, like a lunch sack that you would see, and had lyrics written on it. You know, when it comes to you got to write it down.
That's right.
And so it was just neat to see that kind of stuff. Terry Kath, who was the lead guitarist for Chicago many years ago, Jimi Hendrix met with Chicago. This would have been 1970, 71, something like that.
Jimmy died in 70, so it had to be 70.
Okay, maybe it was 69, 70. But Jimi Hendrix claimed that Terry Kath was better than Jimi Hendrix was as a guitarist.
That's saying something.
That is saying something, yeah. All right, that's it for today's program. Coming up a week from today, we're going to kick off the football season with our return of the Litter Media Game of the Week pregame show, our preview show, where we do a preview. We try and capture the head coaches and do interviews with them. And next week will be the start of the football season. And the first game we will have will be with Chillicothe and Bloom Carroll. Bloom Carroll comes to Chillicothe. This is the first meeting between the two schools. Bloom Carroll has been to Chillicothe a handful of times to play in the playoffs, so the program is familiar with Chillicothe. Chillicothe is familiar with Bloom Carroll through Scott Bartholomew, who was the defensive coordinator for a long time at Bloom Carroll. Bloom Carroll's head coach replaced his son, speaking of Wade Bartholomew, and he was also the defensive coordinator after Scott left. So Jeremy McKinney is the guy that we'll be catching up with, and we had a lot of fun talking with him last year as we went through the football season. Now, you made a post yesterday. We had not made the announcement here yet, but B.J. Daly is going to be in the broadcast booth with Mike Smith for this football season and basketball season. We appreciate B.J. we appreciate most of all Peggy letting B.J. come out and play with the guys on Friday nights. And come out of the retirement. B.J. and you were your mainstays with football.
38
WKKJ
years
for many years. Of course, last year we had Tom Beard with us with his passing this past June. There's no way to replace Tom Beard. No. But if we had to go to someone you've worked with before, it's BJ. Right. And so grateful to have him a part of our team. And if you're an advertiser and you'd like to be on our Litter Media radio broadcasts, reach out to me. I've already reached out to some folks to have them participate, but if you've not heard from me, let me know. And you can find our contact information on our website. Just go there and it'll take you right to it. You can send us an email through the email address that you've been seeing on the screen pop up here as well. So getting ready for the high school football season. Can't wait.
And we'll hope to have our Athlete of the Week tomorrow on the show.
Yes. There's that email address I was talking about right there that you can reach us as well. So for Mike Smith and for Mr. Hand 2, who's not here, we'll do a that's kind of what he does, only how do I do that and make it look, oh, there we go. That looks like it's his hand. Yeah. So we'll see you tomorrow with another edition of Litter Media Live.